Hey guys, here we are then on of explanation for six profile. Here we go. When we come to the close of the formula, we come to the truth of the fourth line beings. Yes, I love genetic continuity, the liar, role playing as an art, form the actor. It's about fantasy. It's also about time bringing humiliation. This is one of those answers that the old story, the tangled web once weaves when one practices to deceive. Unless you have incredible memory, don't become a liar. Only people with incredible memories can be liars. I was a master, by the way. I don't think anybody who's ever been born could be as good as me. It was such a good liar that I didn't even know that I was lying most of the time. Being a 43, 23 unconscious is extraordinary what you can do. And of course, this is one of the things about the nature of how logic will say to you, look, I know that duality stuff, so lie, just lie. If she asks you if you love her, just say yes. What do you care? If she's going to stop screeching, it works, just lie. If she asks you to, if you nailed the letter that you were supposed to mail and you didn't, just lie. Yes, dear, I did. Why get into trouble? This is logic. Can you imagine? This is how logic works. Logic says, hey, duality is tough, so lie. And fourth line beings, remember, their wave kindness, nastiness, kindness, meanness. This is the wave of the fourth line. When you, their friend, and you accept their influence, they're going to be very kind. If you reject them in any way, they're going to be very mean. And one of the ways that they build up the ammunition to be mean is that they lie about being kind. How else do you build this vast circle that's going to provide you with opportunities in your life? Think about the fourth line people and how many people in their life they smile at. They're liars, really. This is the kind of child that says that you're pulling away from the school. They're all my friends. There's best friend number 762. There's best friend 8901. It's the way of just dealing with it. So So logic says to us, look, it's really easy to deal with duality. Here's the answer. You can wait for pleasure and make that all your story. You could accept and deal with your life. You can be irresponsible as hell and do as little as possible for your relationship, or you can just lie. One way or another, cheat your way across that barrier. It's so interesting. Logic says, I give up. I don't know what to do about this. You'll never see it in any other quarter with a logical gate. In any other quarter, it's standing there going, out logical, this is it, this is the law, and this is the way it works. One and one equals two, you idiot. And then you get into this quarter, and logic gets all fuzzy. Logic becomes belief system. It's logic saying, well, try this. I will make it a little bit better. I really don't have the answer, is what it's saying. Then we go to the juxtaposition cross of formalization. The transition of juxtaposition, and we move into the 4 1. Obviously, when we look all this turning of the wheel, and you're going to move into another individual combination, you're going to move into the 8 and the 14. You're going to get rid of the mind. You're going to get deep, deep, deep into the heart of the sacred with the 14th gate. All this power of the 8th gate in the throat, this very powerful need to demonstrate, simply to demonstrate uniqueness, formulation. On the other side of the 4, so if you don't leave it to the 49 gate and you go see that underneath every logical attempt to try to find a way through the right angle process to make duality work is the potential to transform the way that we bond at the tribal level. If you look at the 49th gate, the 49th gate is the gate of marriage and divorce. It's on the other side of the 4. When you talk about it in the 4 in a relationship to duality, you can really see that duality in that bond itself, that relationship, that polarity to the 49, but it's also revolution. And ultimately, in that potential for revolution is the possibility of transforming into other words, of transforming the way in which we deal with the dilemmas of duality. So here we're dealing with a 4-1. We can't accept the fact that role playing is the great lie that logic gives us. In other words, that is the logic that is created. The 4-1s in that sense has created the roles that has accepted generally within our culture for the way in which a man and a woman are together. And it's all the roles, all the life. But after all, it makes everybody comfortable to live the same line. This is one of the same things about a civilization. that people are happy to share the same lie. It's not a lie I'm anymore. So these roles that have evolved, the roles of the male, the roles of the female, are all of these archetypes, we know that they're under pressure now. We know they're breaking down. But again, remember how old the program is. The program was conditioning us simply to take one role, and it's not your passenger that's taking on the role. It's your passenger that has to experience those roles. My favorite image is the logo for Jovian, the guy sticking his hand through the sky. You can't stay with your head through the sky. You can't look through and see the duality is something that, in terms of the way the gears works, that it never works. It's not interested to because it's not what it's all about. There is no way to cross that bridge because that's not the point, nor should we be looking for it. We are here to find our own unique authority, and in truly loving ourselves and being simple, unique. That way we can express anything in any way as by simply being there along with us in whatever the process happens to be. But that's the quiet leap. When you're dealing with the biology, it's a biology. In doing your level 4 and talking about the concretization and looking at transit and being able to this concretization of life as it moves, to be able to understand how physical the conditioning of the vehicle is, how physical the world of the vehicle is. It's so dense. The passenger has no way of being able to influence that in any way. And we have to see that our teaching, what we teach, is to get to the point of being able to stuck your head through the sky and see the configuration, and then come back into your body as a passenger and just watch what happens. Remember, there is no choice. It's not like you can choose to be awake, choose to be wise, choose to follow your strategy, choose any of these things. There are no choices. There is geometry, and there are fractal lines. And if you're on the right geometry and you're on the right fractal, regardless of what you are or what you think you are, we get to the end of your process and you will wake up. And if not, it's your geometry. It's not your fractal. No matter what you take in, no matter what you learn, that's not where you're going to go. Remember that we discussed when we're dealing with level 3 that the goal of an analyst is not to be awake in their client, that the goal of an analyst is to unburden their client. Design does this before anything else that's ever come down to the pipe. It's here to unburden everyone. And it begins with being able to understand the way you work, the way things happen, why they happen to begin. It's a very long process. This 7 year process of getting to a point where you can begin to allow your vehicle to try to run on its automatic pilot. It's what I loved about the LSD experience. It's one of those people that I loved to drive when I was on LSD. I particularly love to do it because I love to knock people, shock people, and nothing more shocking than being on a trip with me and I drag you into my car, go for a drive, and they are peaking on LSD, and you're running down along a highway, and there's an interesting experience in all that because of all what is it's going is to do the way in which you perceive reality in that moment. If you don't think about driving a vehicle, you can drive the vehicle, but the very moment that you wonder how you're doing so well, you're fucked. You go right into a tree. They'll escape you off the highway. It's the magic. It's one of the things that I learned very early through that kind of an experience, that I have Pluto in the 33-6. So part of my program is to get to a place of really being able to let go at a very, very deep level. And one of those places where I knew if I don't stay disengaged, I'm really going to have problems. Just let the mechanics do their job. Drunks know this when they're going home. They get to the house and they have no idea, but there is this automatic pilot at work. Well, these vehicles, you can leave them alone to their life. You don't have to be involved in that. You don't have to worry about the consequences of this and that. You don't have to worry about what your vehicle wants to wear or eat or do or be. It's just there in the formula, nothing to do. So what you're looking at here with the 4-1, with this juxtaposition, in that you're looking at a very, very fixed result of the right angle process of trying to come up with a logical solution to duality, that in the end of the only solution up with is a lie. And I think that's wonderful. It puts it all into place. If you don't know what to do about duality, just lie. And of course, just that's just about what every not self relationship is based on. Lies. It really is. How many lovers did you have before me, darling? Ah, there's only been you. Ah, it's all lies. If you say that, you can get upset and tell you know, I don't lie. Of course they do. It's the formula. You can't escape it because we don't logically know how to bridge the duality gap. We don't. We don't know how to make it all right. We don't know how to guarantee it's going to be safe into the future. You feel that vibration now that they're going to this thing in the States with gay marriage and whether you should institute a law that bans it and what a bond is supposed to be. Logic is so helpless when it tries to deal with this because there's no answer. There's only theories. And in most cases, if you touch the core of any relationship, you will find one of these four themes. It's going to be there. That this is the way that they have discovered how to live in a relationship. But the overall theme is that the most relationships are built on lies and not self relationships built on lies. Lie, 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 lie. What happened?